Hey everybody, so it was requested that I do an updated tour of my gear, so that's what I'm going to do here in this video. So here's the main part of the room where the gear is, and we'll start here. You can see the amps that are in this room and some of the guitars on the wall. And the guitars that are on the wall right now are the ones that have the most sentimental meaning to me. So we'll start out with my Telecaster, which is the first guitar that I ever bought myself back in 2002 off of eBay. It started life as a 98 made in Mexico Telecaster. I have since swapped the bridge because it had a 6 saddle bridge, and I've swapped the neck twice. The neck that's on it now is a AVRI neck. I forget, 2006 or something like that. 2008, I don't remember, but a 1962 Telecaster AVRI neck. It's a good neck, but the setup on the guitar is still a bit lacking, and the sound of the guitar is a bit lacking, so I don't play it very much. Then over here is my Friedman Vintage S. This guitar means a lot to me because my family got it for me for my 40th birthday in 2018, and it's a really amazing Strat style guitar, but it's HSS, so it's different from my actual Strat. It has a different shaped neck, a different feel to it. The pickups sound different, even the single coils, they're a little more rounded. Obviously, it's pretty relic, but this isn't as heavy as Friedman goes. I think this is kind of a medium relic for them. I really love it. Surf green over 3-tone burst. I think it's a really cool looking guitar with that tortoise guard. It sounds great. I've used it on quite a number of songs that I've done. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which ones that are on my channel right now it's used in. And then over here is my Harley Benton HP42 signature guitar. This obviously means a lot to me because Henning is a friend of mine. And I wanted one of these since he announced them, which was like a long time before they actually ever came out. It's a Harley Benton. It was about $500 when it was new. It has a roasted flame maple neck. I believe it has stainless steel frets. Yeah, no illusions here. It doesn't keep up with my other guitars because I have very, very high end guitars. But for $500, it's a pretty solid guitar. If this were going to be my like main guitar that I played, I probably would change the bridge, as the saddles do seem to move around on the bridge that's on there, and I would probably change the pickups, but I would want to keep the purple covers. But otherwise, I think it's a really solid guitar. Next, we'll do the amps that are right over here. So here's my Morgan MVP 23. Apologize for my finger creeping in the side of the frame. You know, it's been a long day and it's really hot in the room, so I did my best filming this quickly. Anyway, the MVP 23 is a great amp. You can hear it in my Buddy Guy cover that's on my channel. And then there's this Fender Custom Champ, 57 Champ. It's a great little tweed with one volume knob and 2 inputs, and that's all it's really got. It sounds great. I'll use it on a song sooner or later. My Friedman Runt that I've had for quite a while. I love it. It's a great Marshall. I don't have any songs that it's used on my channel right now, but eventually I will use it for something. And then, of course, my 2-Rock TS1, which by far is what I've been recording the most with. If you check the descriptions on most of the clips that I have on my channel right now, you'll find that the 2-Rock is the amp that's been used. Part of that's laziness, just because I have the microphones already positioned, so it's ready to go, but also it's exactly the tone that I've always wanted. The TS1 sounds like what I've always wanted my guitar tone to sound like. I have this pedal board kind of lazily slapped together here, but I honestly haven't really put it to use. You can tell that the collider's not even in the loop and being used right now. And then here's my Squier bass. It's a PJ modified bass. All the bass playing on my channel is this. It's got a rosewood board. It's old enough to be, one of the last guitars that Squier shipped with a rosewood board on it. It's a solid bass after I had Sweetwater set it up and stuff. But I might be replacing it finally in the near future. Stay tuned for that in a couple months. So then you saw the closet where all the guitar cases are. You can see some of them just to the left here. And then here's the rack with the rest of the guitars, and I'll go through these one by one. So first up is my Texas Toast Special that Matt and Chris at Texas Toast made for me. It has some kind of hippie wood neck. I believe it is Caribbean rosewood neck, and I forget what the board is, Cadillacs or something. Anyway, it's a really well-made guitar. It's flawless. It has a super distortion in the bridge and a DiMarzio PAF in the neck, if I recall correctly. This guitar is my heaviest guitar. It's like 9 pounds. I never was crazy about the sound of it, but honestly, it does sound really good through the two-rock. Through my Runt or through my Morgan, I always thought it sounded kind of harsh and thin, but through the two-rock, it actually sounds good. Like, everything sounds good through the two-rock, so I'm sure I'll use it on a song sooner or later. It is a special guitar to me, and I would never get rid of it, but it's not the one I turn to all the time. So then here's my Strat. It's a Fender Custom Shop Time Machine 1964 Strat. It's in super faded Fiesta Red. It has a rosewood board, which is kind of a light brown rosewood board. But you can see that the like dark clay dots kind of disappear on it. So it's almost like playing a guitar with no markers. And the side markers are also that same color as the main fret markers. So here I tried to get close so you can actually see like the checking and relicings going on. This is a Journeyman relic guitar. So it's got dings and dongs and it's got checking, but it's not like super worn through. I really like this level of relicing because it means that you don't worry about banging it into things or anything, and it feels played already, and you just enjoy the guitar for what it is without being like, oh no, what if I smack it on something, which is not, I don't really get neurotic about it. I've dinged and donged all my guitars, but yeah. So then here's my Gibson R9 60th anniversary reissue from 2019. It's 8 pounds even, has no weight relief, so very light for an R9. You know, there are sub 8 pounds out there, but it's pretty hard to find. This has the unpotted custom buckers. It just sounds and feels amazing. It's a really great guitar. I bought it right before Gibson started sending out cease and desist letters to smaller companies and generally acting like jerks. If they had started doing that before I bought it, I might not have bought it, but I have it and I love it, so I'm not going to get rid of it. I don't think anything can really replace it. I've played a lot of the, Les Paul alternatives that are out there, and it's just not the same. Here I tried to show how the binding on this side of the neck, the base side of the neck, has kind of turned pink from the aniline dye leaking into the clear coat and kind of going over the binding. This guitar is in a southern fade finish, which I just love the look of. It's, I think, really beautiful guitar. The back of it is pretty faded compared to when I got it new, but that's just what happens with the aniline dye. So yeah, I try to take care of it, and I try to generally keep it towards the back of the rack and keep that one door of the closet closed to protect it from direct sunlight. So then we're getting to my PRSs a bit here. So here's my 594 Graveyard, which I got last year. It's a 2018 guitar. I got it used. This is a limited run that PRS did in 2018. I ended up trading 3 guitars for this, 3 PRSs. It's really a really great guitar. Does it play notably better than a Core or Wood Library? You know, not really. It is nicer. The top is insanely amazing on it. But you know, if you have a Core 594 or even an S2 594, are you missing out? No, you have a great guitar. And while this is cooler in some ways, like the insane top and the figured mahogany neck, and mine happens to have a figured mahogany back as well, you're not missing out on playability. I don't think really. This it's clear that more time was spent on this guitar, and it is nicer, but it's not like the difference between jumping from, say, a PRS SE to a PRS core guitar. It's not the same to go from core to private stock. I think when you go from SE to core, you will feel a big difference. SEs are great guitars, but you will feel a big difference in that jump. When you go from core to private stock, the quality or like feel difference isn't as huge, but it's more, private stock guitars are special, and they are what they are. So here's the most recent one. I traded in 2 guitars and some money for this Paul's 85 guitar. This has a Bolivian rosewood board, I think, and the Graveyard had a Madagascar rosewood board. Very beautiful boards on both of them. This one's more obviously figured than the other one. This one also has a crazy top, and it also has much more of a crazy stain, but the Graveyard's top actually looks crazier in person, and especially in low light, than the Paul's 85 does. It has a Peruvian rosewood or Peruvian mahogany neck, I believe, as well, and an African mahogany body. My neck here, you can tell towards the heel joint that there's just a tiny, you can kind of see it there. There's just like a tiny little bit of figuring in this neck, but not really enough to even call it figured, just a little hint. I've really enjoyed this guitar. I love the 594 Graveyard. These both have vintage nitro finish, which will crack over time and age like a vintage guitarist finish, which the R9 has, and this Collings that you're about to see next also has. I like that kind of finish. I like these guitars age. I play them a lot. They don't just sit in the rack. I play all the time. So here's the Collings I-35 that I got late last year or early this year. I forget exactly. Everything's a blur. This guitar is somewhat like a 335, but the top and back are carved from solid pieces of wood instead of being layers of laminate. This has a Zeracote fretboard and those really cool parallelogram inlays. It's a deluxe, so it has the binding from Ivroyd. It has Lawler low wind Imperial pickups, which sound great to me. I think that top is really cool looking, and the color is called Mermaid Blue. You can see the back of this has a little bit of figuring in it. So the top is carved out of, solid figured maple, and then the back is a one piece of mahogany that was carved out. So it's not exactly like a 335. It's also a slightly longer scale length than a 335. So, and the body's a little bit narrower than a 335. So it's in that family, but it's not identical. I really love it. It sounds great. It feels great. Plays great. I think when I'm ready to get a P90 Junior of some kind, I will probably get a Collings one or a Nick Huber one. So last guitar, this is my PRS Ted McCarty 2009. This is a limited run PRS did of like 250 guitars, honoring Ted McCarty. This one has a 10 top, which I guess a small percentage, like I think PRS said like 10% or something like that. I don't know, some small percentage of this run actually had 10 tops. I think it's really a beautiful top. I really enjoy this guitar. It has that wrap tail bridge like the Paul's 85 does, and the McCarty controls, where it has one volume, one tone, and a 3-way, which the Paul's guitar also has, but Paul's 85 has the individual coil splits as well. I love this guitar. I got it for about $2,300, which is not a little amount of money, but for a guitar of this caliber, I feel like that's a really good deal. I think sometimes these are going for much more, and they probably deserve to. So over here, this is my desk area where I work, and also where I do editing and the recording and everything. You can see the Focusrite Claret 8 Pre in the rack there, and you can see my focal monitors on stands there. And there is my Roland TD17KVX kit that I use sometimes for drumming. And that's pretty much what's going on in this room. I have a Morgan JS12 that I keep downstairs so that I can play plugged in downstairs when I want to. But yeah, that's pretty much it.